My name is Dominic Hawken, aka Mr. Wiggly, and this is
CLOWNFEST Cringe!
CLOWNFEST Cribs.
Welcome to CLOWNFEST Ribs. My name is Mr. Wiggly, and yeah.
Hi, welcome to the video. My name is Dominic Hawken, aka Mr. Wiggly, and this is my studio. Behind me there's another door that leads through to a couple of offices and another small filming area, and off to my right through into some rooms on the other side of the building is my lab, where I store a lot of stuff, but also there's oscilloscopes and kind of electronic equipment that I use to build and repair synths and bits and pieces. So a lot of the stuff I buy can often be broken on eBay, and I'll try and repair it and bring it back to life and so forth. A lot of the stuff I do here is in the box, but I tend to try and take sounds out of the computer through a bunch of processors or an incinerator, for example, hence my incinerator plugin, to change that sound and to make them more me, I suppose. So rather than take a VST or a synth plugin and use the presets or find my own sounds, I'll also take that sound out of the computer and process it externally with whatever I can find. Could be some funky old analog kit, or some really lovely outboard, or the incinerator, or just a mic in front of the speakers, or whatever. It just gives it some reality and shifts some air, and I think makes everything sound a little bit more real and a little bit different. So I'll take you through what I've got here really quickly. I won't bore you to tears, just a very quick rundown of what I've got, how I work things, and a quick look around, and then that'll be it. So thank you so much for watching, and welcome to CLOWNFEST 6.
Welcome to CLOWNFEST Cringe.
Cribs! Not cringe! So this is the studio end of the room where all the equipment is. I've got some natural light over there, which is great. Some blinds come down. Right in the corner over there, I've got some keyboards which I use, like keyboards I've owned from kind of the very first keyboards I bought, which was an SH101 and a JX3P. In the corner, or in the section over there, you've got the racks, which are mainly outboard, a couple more keyboards. The computer and all the stuff is over here. There are 3 screens, and I spend most of my time kind of looking at this wall here, lighting above it, and there's a camera there right in the middle looking at me, and various other cameras dotted around. Over this side, I've got master keyboards that I use most. So there's Prophet 6, which I love. There's an OBX underneath it, and a KX88 as a master keyboard, like a weighted keyboard underneath that. And then on this side, it's kind of a relatively new area for me. I started getting into a bit of doorless jamming, or at least trying to come up with beats out of the box and then sampling them and sticking them back in the computer. So there's a Tempest, a Deluge, there's an Octatrack, there's a lovely mixer there which I can use for dubbing effects, that kind of stuff. And all of those are, and everything in this room is actually patched into Patch Bay, which is over here in this rack kind of behind the chair. And with that patch bay, I can literally route anything to everywhere. So I can take stuff out of the computer, like I was saying before, and I can route it into outboard or into things like the Tempest, or whatever I want to do. And I can also take stuff from the outside and get it all straight into the computer. There's also some modular kit in the rack over there, some modular kit here, which I'm using as a kind of external outboard effects unit, and one of the new Behringer 2600s here, which I really, really like. So that's this end of the room. Above us is a projector which goes and points at this end of the room, and a projector screen can come down here, and you can kind of watch movies or chill out at the other end of the room. So this room was, before we moved into the house, was like a cinema upstairs, and so this is the cinema end. I kept the nice chill out sofa, and then at the other end of the room is all my kit here. So obviously if I'm working with people in here as well, I can work up that end and they can chill out and chat at this end and watch the screens and stuff. And then out through the main door here, that's where my lab is, so we can have a quick look at that. This is CLOWNFEST Cribs.
Cringe.
This is my lab where I kind of build stuff and repair synths and bits and pieces. It might look quite haphazard, but it's pretty well organised. Over here is where all the work gets done. So you've got oscilloscope, power supplies, all sorts of various test equipment. This on the bench here is a Burl B16 mothership. That's my main audio interface, and the power supply went wrong very recently, and they really kindly, thank you Burl, sent me straight away a replacement power supply. It's brilliant service and a great sounding thing. It's one of my favorite things. Other stuff back here is my Juno 106, which is just about to have new replacement oscillators and filters called gravitational slingshots. Relatively new kind of chip releases as remakes of the original Juno. So I'm going to keep the old ones, swap some new ones in and see what it sounds like. That's had a Kiwi retrofit as well, which I fitted, which makes it touch sensitive and just really nice. And there's a Matrix 1000. There's a boombox over there, which I'm just about to turn into some monitoring speakers and kind of paint up and pair that with my SP404, which is my newest love. I fall in love with this SP404. You'll see it back in the other room. So yeah, that's what happens here. This is a drill press right here. So I can drill holes quite accurately in metal boxes to make kind of crazy geeky MIDI effect things and all that kind of stuff. But basically in here is like a kind of labby playroom for electronics. So we'll head back into the main studio room and I'll show you some of the synths a bit more close up and the kind of stuff that I've got in the racks.
Wait, I want to try do it in the accent.
Okay.
Hello, my name's Luna May.
Just before that, this room at the end here takes you into my office, which is pretty bare as offices goes. There's a couple of skateboards and bits and pieces, but over here is kind of where I do all my my coding, and I have a big TV in the corner where I literally just watch kind of skate videos or YouTube videos. Do some more filming in this room here, and this room here is where Margaret, my amazing assistant, is working, COVID permitting. So yeah, back into the studio. Let's take a closer look at this kit.
Good evening.
Good evening. Oh, isn't that beautiful behind us?
Good evening.
Wouldn't it be weird if someone was there? If we put the camera up like this and there was like a face just there. And you go,
I just saw something move in the woods.
well, that's probably like a badger.
No, it was big.
Like a bear.
A human.
Oh.
Ew. I see a beautiful flower on his head.
Really? Okay, here's a quick rundown of the keyboards that I've got in the corner. Up the top, Korg ARP Odyssey, Moog Sub 37, my original SH101 that I've had since the year dot, a Mini Brute. This is a DX21, but normally the Juno 106 from next door sits there. And underneath that is a JX8P, which has had the Kiwi upgrade fitted to it, as has this JX3P and another JX3P underneath it. Both of them have Kiwi upgrade. The top one is the one I bought on the same day we got the SH101. And honestly, they're just brilliant. The Kiwi turns it into another synth completely. Here's a couple of the racks. I've got a Revox B77 above there, which I use as a tape delay. It's like a poor man's Space Echo. All the keyboards and external stuff come into these two Neve sub-mixers. My idea was to create like a perfect mixing desk without a mixing desk. So those are all the inputs. Underneath that are two API channels. So that's my stereo desk input. I put everything through there and then into the Burl, which you showed being repaired next door, to get that really classic sound. Underneath that are all of the patch bays that you need. Underneath that are some more really quite cool old school compressors, delays and that kind of stuff, which I'm going to cover in another video because they warrant a little bit more time. Here is some modular stuff and another one of my epic favorite synths. So this is superb. It's an Omega Code 8, which is just wonderful. I can't say enough good things about it. Here's a close-up of the view from behind. We've got the Tempest, the Deluge, the Octatrack, a TR8S. Obviously that's a Matrix Brute in the background. Some boutique synths from Roland there. I've got two JP8, so that's my proper JP8. And this is a SSLX desk, which I use to basically run dubs and stuff. It's a beautiful sound to it, and I can route anything from within the computer out through it. And this is a view from the front. We have a Behringer B2600 in the background over there, bunch of screens, and this amazing Euro rack system I put together, which is basically outboard for me, particularly this QMMF4, which just sounds brilliant, whatever you put through it. This is my brand new favourite toy, this SP404. Just sounds great, nicely cleaned up with a new faceplate. Behind me there's a Prophet 6, an OB6 and a Yamaha KX88 master keyboard, and this absolutely brilliant incinerator, which is the sound of my plugin that you can get on mrwiggly.co.uk. So please do check that out. It sounds brilliant. It is the sound of audio through that incinerator. Other than that, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for the invite for CLOWNFEST. I hope you find this entertaining or informative, and enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you very much indeed. I suppose it is CLOWNFEST cringe, really. Try again. CLOWNFEST cringe.